Hello again, everyone. Edwin Laird back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about transit Jupiter square opposition or inconjunct one's natal black moon laws. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve Jupiter, it can be about expanding horizons, going outside the box, so to speak. Enthusiasm, exuberance, optimism, hope, jocularity, joviality, and truth and veracity. Now, when the transit Jupiter basically makes an adverse aspect to one's natal black moon laws, and I'm going to elaborate on that. When I'm saying basically adverse aspect, what I'm talking about, what I'm saying is the fact that squares and oppositions in astrology, of course, they are adverse and negative aspects. The inconjunct, though seen as neutral, well, that can have neutral aspects can have positive and negative in them. And an inconjunct can often be about an adjustment, a transition, which of course can cause some exasperation and intention. So basically, collectively, I see this as an adverse aspect. Now, this transit. Now, when you have transit Jupiter, again, basically making the adverse aspect to one's natal black moon, well, it may manifest in the expanding horizons, going outside the box, so to speak, enthusiasm, exuberance, optimism, hope, jocularity, joviality, truth, and veracity. These things may conflict with the negative manifestation of the sign. It can be, maybe what's happening is that you're looking at this. Well, you're not overtly jocular about the negative expression of the sign. You may never be, but it may be even worse this time where you're even more unhappy, and it might be somehow it's prohibiting you from expressing more jovial nature. And the thing about this, I mean, say if the black moon rolls is an Aquarius, it might be something where maybe you're showing exaggerated, eccentric, or unorthodox or bizarre tendencies. Very, it could be very, strong, erratic behavior. It can be, and it might be where it's just really causing maybe some issues with you even trying to go outside the box or expand the horizons. And another thing too is that the black moon, I mean, is connected with that dark side of a person, and it might be too where when you have this transit, maybe you're not overly optimistic about dealing with this at this point in time. That dark side of that is associated with the sign the black moon rules is in. It can be something too where in some cases where you have to be wary because Jupiter is about publishing. And since we're talking about basically an adverse aspect, that something might get out there about that dark side of yourself that might be you didn't want unveiled. And so this is a time to be a little bit more wary and about something like that actually transpiring with this transit. Black moon rolls could also be nefarious energy, and it doesn't have to always be coming from you. What it can be, I mean, if you have the black moon rolls in the fourth house, this could be, a prominent family member or someone you're close to home with. Somebody, could be the mother in some cases. It might be someone prominent in your home and family life, and this could be, a situation where these something that could be going on, in connection with that black moon laws, placement that and expressing this nefarious energy, maybe taking the joy out of you, maybe getting harder for you to express joviality, to be happy, to see the positive things, just in general. I mean, if you have, the black moon laws in Leo in the fourth house, it could be a very domineering, person in your home or family life, or or Capricorn and Capricorn in the fourth could be, somebody very cold or callous or tyrannical. That could be, a prominent family member. It could be the mother. It could be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother, I should say, someone you're close to home with. Now, the black moon wolves can also be connected with a, formidable adversary, and it could also be somebody that plays a provocative or prominent role in your life. So this could be the time when you have this transit that you're having difficulty, maybe being open-minded or being philosophical about this person, or it could be philosophical differences that are connected with somebody that's prominent in your life, or someone plays a provocative role in your life at this time. And the thing about it is, and it could also be, keep in mind, Jupiter is connected with the law. So it can be a situation where maybe you might have, could be a lawsuit or something against somebody that's been, a thorn in your side, somebody that you see as a powerful enemy. Also, too, Black Moon Lilith can be connected with trauma, abuse. So you might not be overly optimistic if there's a physical injury or some suffering of a physical nature, and connected perhaps with the sign that the Black Moon Lilith is in. Say if you have it in Scorpio, it could be something with the colon or the prostate or bladder or groin area. And you might not be overly optimistic about it at this time, as far as whether it's healing or whatever it might be doing in terms of getting better. Black Moon Lilith could also be connected with abuse. The thing about this transit is, it can be abuse that you're, in some cases you might be enduring, and it can be a situation where, it's really, taking, any positivity out of you at this time. And it might be, something over, an issue of opinion or philosophical issue where you're having to endure more than usual. Whether it could be of a physical nature, it could just simply be some emotional, abuse or suffering, or constant, criticism, derogatory remarks. Virgo. Say if the Black Moon Lilith is in Virgo, it could be a very, judgmental, person in your life that might be causing that kind of abuse. It might be something to, the Black Moon Lilith is also connected with obsession and fixation. So it's very important not to become overly obsessed on a certain philosophy or belief or opinion, or you're trying to run it down somebody's throat at this time, figuratively speaking. Say if the transit, Jupiter is in Aquarius, it might be something of an unorthodox belief or something with astrology as another example. And also too, the Black Moon Lilith could reflect a void in our life, and it might be something that we might perceive as a void or emptiness, or it may actually exist in some cases. I have the Black Moon Lilith in Leo in my 4th house, so it's really, a lot of it is maybe being just finding that dominance in my home life in some cases, or just a family in general. There's really, I don't have many family members really in my life. Black Moon Lilith in the 4th house could sometimes manifest in the feeling like there's some ostracism from family, or an exile of sorts. And the thing is, when you have this transit of Jupiter, basically again making an adverse aspect to the natal Black Moon Lilith, well, it can be taking that jocular, jovial side right out of you. And it may be, in my case, if I have this transit hitting my Black Moon Lilith, with the example I stated before, my own placement, well, it could really be making you, even less happy, I would say, about that situation, and that kind of energy can make you, feel just less enthusiastic, less exuberant in general. And it might be a time too. The Black Moon Lilith is also associated with death, and it might be where there might be just different philosophical issues you're having with somebody, different opinions or beliefs on this matter at this time. Whether it might be, if there's life after death, or if one of those, basic philosophies, once you're dead, that's it. It could be some conflict as far as that goes. And the thing about it is too, this is also, again, the Black Moon Lilith can be connected with that side that you suppress and that you don't want unveiled. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, when you look at this transit now, another way that this may manifest at this time, it can be difficulty to find the enthusiasm or exuberance in embracing the higher level of the placement. Now, say if the natal black moon Lilith is in Aquarius, as an example, it can be something where you may the higher level of it could be simply making contributions to astrology, astronomy, information technology, as an example, and you may not really want to do that at this time or have that enthusiasm to do so. Another thing too is that guard against being over optimistic in dealing with some kind of if it's a formidable adversary, a powerful enemy at this time. You might not be able to get things the way you want with this person, whether it's through negotiation or whatever it might be, or some compromise. Say if the black moon Lilith is in a Capricorn in the 12th house, as an example, it could be some situation where where this person might be affecting your reputation, your status, which is Capricorn, and it might be connected with secret sorrows and something that you're really just trying to keep hidden, since we're talking about the 12th house. Now, another thing too is that there could be philosophical differences with a person that may be playing a provocative role in your life at this time. Say, for example, if transit Jupiter is in Sagittarius, it could be some issues over religion or sports or traveling abroad, matters with expanding horizons. It can also be some cases this transit may manifest in being harder to see the truth, perhaps of your own dark side. Again, going to the black moon, say if the natal black moon Lilith is in Leo, as an example, this could be maybe a domineering or arrogant or egotistical or overly extravagant side, or a side that just doesn't really want to see the flaws in yourself or defaults in you. And also too, there might be some, if there's any issues that are Jupiter, I call them Jupiterian issues that are anatomically connected with Jupiter. There's any issues, say, with the liver, the sciatic nerve, the pancreas, the hip, as it's some examples. It might bring out the negative qualities of the placement or make them even worse than they are. I mean, say if the black moon Lilith is in Aries, it might bring out very abrupt, very, very outspoken, direct energy, and acrimonious and angrier energy than even usual, I would say, as an example. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.